Hello, I am getting ready to interview Michelle this evening. So let me get on in here. Michelle. I see you. I see you. What is it? I am here with on here with you. On here with you. On to make it on. There we go.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
All right. I'm so sorry I'm running late.
Oh, you fine. You fine. You fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It has been a crazy busy day.
Yeah, it looks like you. Where you on your way to?
So say that again.
Where you on your way to?
I am on my way home.
Don't look like it.
Right.
All right.
I
So,
need to be.
uh, who do you know?
I'm gonna pull over up here just a second so
Yeah.
that I can actually look at the camera, and
Yeah.
because I know you're recording this. And so as soon as I can get off the freeway here.
Yes, be careful.
Yes, yes. Unlike Miss Katrina, I try not to talk on the to do stuff while I'm driving.
Hey,
I
we
give
do
her
what
a
we
hard
gotta
time.
do.
I give her a hard time about that.
We do what we gotta do.
Exactly, exactly. So, all right. As soon as I get pulled over here into the Costco parking lot, I will be able to talk more freely. And so, how has your day been?
Oh man, a lot to do. So many times, and not enough time left.
I understand that. Understand that.
So I am like right now, while I'm talking to you, somebody else has already called me. Come on, guys. So
Yeah.
So
All right. So I am stopped and pulled over here.
all right. So I am talking to Michelle Dukes. Am I saying it right?
Duke.
Duke.
No S. Like
Duke.
Duke University.
So I'm talking to Michelle Duke, who is okay. How do you know Katrina? Is it?
So I worked under Katrina as her assistant principal for 5 years.
Okay.
And we just have become good friends as well as coworkers.
Oh wow. Okay. How long you all been good friends and coworkers?
Probably since probably about 2 months into that relationship, a working relationship. So about 4.5 years. Katrina is all personality.
So I'm guessing y'all met at work and just hit it off from there.
Yeah, we had a very interesting when I was uh, applying and going through the process to become an assistant principal. Katrina did a panel kind of interview of assistant principals in the district, and we laughed because I wrote her a note after that. She did that panel interview for a group I was a part of, aspiring administrators group, and I wrote her a note just telling her thank you and how much I appreciated her taking the time to share with us and everything, never knowing that 3 years later she would become my principal. Yeah. And would be named the principal of the school I was at. And we laughed because she said, I kept thinking I knew you from somewhere. I kept thinking I knew you from somewhere. And she was going to unpacking her stuff that first year, and she found that note that I had written to her, and she had kept it on her vision board at that point in time, because she was an AP at that point in time and wanting to be a principal. And so she had kept that little note that I had written her about how much that meant to me, her being a part of that, and on her vision board. So that kind of just set us right off on a good foot.
So what have you learned from Katrina since the time since the time you've been under her?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So many things. I think the most important thing I have learned from Katrina is to be my authentic self and to enjoy the journey. She has taught me to step back, relax, and love what I do, but don't change for anybody. Be my authentic self, and eventually it will pay off.
Yeah. And how long you been doing this?
So this is I'm going into my 8th year as an administrator.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you started off a teacher first and then administrator, or you just went over into administrator?
Yes. I started off as a teacher. This is my 27th year as in education.
So hold on. You've been doing this for 27 years?
27 years, yes.
You didn't want to take a break from this at no time? Like, I'm going to take a break from this, go do something else.
I actually took a break for about 4 years while I had when my kids were younger, and ended up spending so much time at the school while they were going to school that I finally went to the superintendent of that school. It was a charter school. I went up to them and I said, you know what, I noticed your teachers need this and this and this, and I'm up here working. I want to get paid to do this. If I'm up here doing this, I might as well get paid. Yeah. So I ended up going to work for them as a staff development coordinator.
Wow. So that's how you got all into the education world? You just said, I'm just gonna just come up here and get paid to do
it. Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's how I got into administration. I had been a teacher for a while, and the charter school I was at, they didn't have a whole lot of support for their teachers. And my son had a first-year teacher that wasn't getting a lot of mentorship. Yeah. And so I kind of took her under my wing as a stay-at-home mom teacher and ended up spending all my time up there. And so I went and said, hey, put me on the payroll at this point.
So Michelle, let's look back for a minute. In all the years, the 27 years of doing this, right?
Uh-huh.
Now you told me what you learned from Katrina. What have you learned from this whole entire experience, this career experience, this 27 years? What have you learned from all of this? Because I know when you started, you was probably one way, and now totally different. So what have you learned from this?
I, I think I have learned that what I do is the most amazing career out there. And I get to touch the lives of kids every day, but I also get to touch the lives of adults.
Yeah.
And teachers that I'm around. I get to touch the lives of parents. I get to be mama. I get to be friend. I get to be educator of adults, educator of children.
Yeah.
And there is just nothing more rewarding. And it's a true mission. And I don't take that lightly.
Yeah. And in doing this, what would you say to the next generation? I mean, next generation of teachers, of education that's coming up in the world. That, because I have, in my program, we help kids all over the country figure out what type of career path they want to do. And it's based on software that we literally have where they literally come in and we ask them questions about, hey, what time you want to wake up in the morning? Hey, do you like talking to other people? Hey, do you like money? Hey, do you like cars? Hey, do you like going grocery shopping? Stuff like that. Behind the
Right.
scenes, there's I call it the database. It's literally carving out a career path behind the scenes based on the labor statistics from the U.S. Department of Labor and from the federal government and all the statistics of what it takes in order to become a career. And it's also created through the University of Southern California, where they went to every job and they literally put all the characteristics of what it takes to become each particular career. Like, for instance, if I wanted to become a teacher, I must love people.
Right.
If I wanted to teach, I must have certain characteristics of teacher that carve out. And in that behind the scenes, the algorithm is creating it, and it spits out the top 3 careers that they should look into. And then we bring in career mentors from all over the country to literally say, hey, you want to get to my level? This is what you need to work on. And let me help you get there.
Right.
It's like a guide that guide me. So this in 2019, I decided to find those what I call hidden figures that are doing it, that are making a difference in the life and the community and the kids. And I call them doorkeepers, door openers. And they're opening up the door for thousands and thousands, but they don't get the recognition they should. And I felt like at the end of the day, my organization needed to not only recognize those, but also be able to give them a platform so they can become even more of a greater purpose in life. So this gala, portion of it goes to the scholarships, career research, and then we invest into young entrepreneurs. So basically, there's 4 different ways you're gonna go once you get out of the program. You're gonna either go into college, you're gonna go into trade, you're gonna go into entrepreneurship, you're gonna go into military. In the entrepreneurship world, if we feel like you have a real good vision and you really dead set on what you want to do, we will literally invest into your company, literally. And that's our way of giving back and helping the entrepreneurship.
Nice.
So that portion of the gala is, and then the last portion is the National Youth Career Center, where kids, no matter where they live in the country, it's almost like you ever seen X-Men?
Uh-huh.
It's almost like that. So I'm like Professor X, and all these kids come. All these
I
kids
love
come
it.
to learn, because in the high school where they teach to the star, they don't teach to, like, if I'm using math, they don't think, why am I going to use this afterward? And so we not only open up the door and let them understand it, but we also, like, for instance, if they learn in math, we're like, come on, we're gonna go to the grocery store. Well, why are we going to the grocery store? Well, we're gonna use math. Because at the end of the day, you can't eat, right? So you're gonna have to add this stuff up. And you can't pay for it with anything. So we take them out of the classroom and give them life experiences because we want them to see what it is. So, and then by us doing that, I said we need to give opportunities for those who's already doing it. And Katrina was one of the ones that picked. And actually, Katrina was supposed to be the keynote speaker for this year.
Yes.
But what ended up happening, I said, forget keynote speaker. Why don't you? I'm nominating her too. So I nominated her to the board, and they all decided they were looking at all of them, and they realized at the end of the day, why don't you nominate Katrina, April, Jason, all three of them principals, just give it to all three of them, let them all be recognized. So that's what we did this year.
Absolutely.
So my final question before I get out of here, and I do appreciate you stopping on the road to take my interview. So many times I see kids, the generation now, they're doing stuff that we wasn't raised on. What would you tell the next generation that they should be working on going forward? I mean, if you can go back and be like, hey, I want to go and tell the younger Michelle what she should be working on. What if you had a chance to go back? Would you go back? Let me ask you that question.
Ooh, would I go back? Sometimes I think I would. Sometimes I think I'm very content where I'm at. I'm very happy with my life and how it's turned out. But do I wish I'd maybe done things a little bit differently at times in my life, especially in that junior high and early high school time. That was a really rough time for me. I grew up in a very I wouldn't say my grandparents supported us financially, but I was in a single parent home with a mom that was trying her hardest, and I was not a good girl. I was an awful child.
Did you just say that?
I was not a good girl. I tell Katrina all the time, and I tell kids all the time that they have us do as administrators. They say there's your 5% kids, your kids that 5% of your kids are going to be your strugglers, your constantly in the office kids. And in junior high and early high school, that was me. Right. I was horrible. And my mom, I finally told my mom, I'm not living in this household anymore with this dad that you brought in at the time. I'm not living there anymore. And I went and lived with my grandparents, and my grandparents said, if you're going to live with us, you're going to church every Sunday and you're going to make a change. And so my sophomore year, I did, and ended up becoming Youth of the Year for the city of Fort Worth my senior year in high school. And so did make that total change. But it was, I would say, so would I go back and maybe change some of that? Yeah. But then those are the experiences that I get to communicate to kids nowadays. And my advice to kids is always just set your goals and fight for what you want. Be true to yourself, but really embrace who you are, and own it. And if you make a mistake, own it and move on, and know that that's going to be an experience in your life that you're going to be able to use to support other people later on. And I have that conversation with 5th and 6th graders more than anybody. Just that don't let your circumstances of the moment define you as a person, because what's happening with your parents, what's happening in society around you, it should not define you as a person. and you define you. And so figure out who you are and let those people, those adults who want to help you, do that, and figure out who you are and be true to that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say to anyone, because I wish someone had said to me, stop trying to be everybody else and be true to you. Figure you out and be true to you. And I figured that out in about late high school, early college, and was able to have been worked in Title I schools. And I tell people all the time, most of the schools I've ever worked at, I am the token white girl. And I live for that, and I love that. And
hold on, not the Captain Bates type of person.
Yeah, no, not that. So, but I do. I love Title I and working with low-income families and low-income kiddos, and I found my passion in that, and wouldn't change that for the world. So.
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate you allowing me to interview. I am. Are you coming to the gala? Are you coming to the gala? Or are you going to be going somewhere else?
I am not going to be able to. I haven't had the heart to break it to Katrina yet.
Oh!
And so I'm like, I'm just like, I'm going to be in trouble with her because she told me 6 months ago about it. And my husband asked me, said, can you go, can you go to this deal on such and such night? And I was like, sure, I don't think I have anything planned. And I completely forgot. And so, yeah. So I haven't even had the heart to tell her yet.
You want me to send it to her in this type of video? Be like, hate to tell you, but let me give you some news. I'll let her tell it to her own way.
Okay.
Well,
so.
definitely, Michelle Duke. Thank you for all that you've done, all that you have done. We will do this again. I would like to see you in person. Bring your husband with you, because we have some more events. We got a holiday masquerade going on at the end of this year. We got several other events. In fact, in about 3 weeks, I'm taking 40 people to Vegas. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So all the proceeds from that go back to the foundation. So
that's awesome.
We always doing stuff. So thank you, Michelle, for all that you've done. I appreciate all the work you're doing, and I wish you nothing but the best in all that you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you. And I can't wait to hear about the night with Katrina. I know she was completely honored by all of this, and is truly, y'all picked a good one. You couldn't have picked a better one.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I'm the MC, so I'm the MC and host of it with another lady. So I'll be doing it portion. I'll be doing a portion of it. I'm not doing the whole thing, but I'll be doing a portion. So I'll be acting the fool. So just.
I love it.
So,
well,
anyway.
well, yeah, I just am honored to have known her and to have been a part of, having her on my journey. So.
Yes, well, you enjoy the rest of your night. Get home safely, and
I will.
All you've done, and I'll add this to the interview with all the rest of them. So.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your week. So.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.